Alrighty, so today is Wednesday, June 10th, and we have a enhanced risk of severe weather level 3 out of 5 for parts of northeast Kansas here. So Kansas City, Olathe, yeah, some of the suburbs of Kansas City there, really some major areas in that enhanced risk there. And then we got a level 2 out of 5 slight risk here for parts of southeast Kansas, eastern Kansas, south central, and up into some more parts of northeastern Kansas. And then outside of that, we got a decently large level 1 out of 5 marginal risk here. So that's extending into parts of south central Kansas and basically covering the rest of southeast Kansas there and up into parts of northern Kansas as well. Our tornado risk on the Kansas side, it should not be very high today. We just have a level or 2% tornado risk here. Really from parts of, oh my gosh, my drawing's terrible. Anyway, really from parts of kind of, oh my, there we go. Really from parts of northeastern Kansas down into maybe clipping into southeast Kansas there and parts of eastern Kansas as a whole. Our wind threat is also not too high down here as well. We had that 15 or 10, 15, yeah, 15%. There we go. We have that 15% wind risk down in parts of, again, southeast Kansas, northeast Kansas, eastern Kansas, and south central Kansas. So I'll go ahead and highlight that again. So there you go. There's your your 15% wind risk. And then hail. Hail is a little bit higher today. We do actually have a 30% SIG 1 hatching here for parts of northeast Kansas here. So that would cover our enhanced risk. So basically, yeah, this enhanced risk would be most likely a hail-driven risk today. So that's for hail up to about a max intensity of 2 inches in diameter. So about sizes of a lime or so. So yeah, again, we have a little bit more of that elevated threat for some larger hailstones up in northeast Kansas there. And then we do have that level 2 out of 5 kind of basically a slight risk hatching as well for covering that same threat. Obviously, just maybe a little bit on the lower side there. But that's digging into parts of southeast Kansas and, again, south central, northeast Kansas even a little bit. And then we do have, outside of that, we have just partially, we have part of just a unhatched 15% risk there for covering more of southeast Kansas. And then in extreme southeast Kansas, we have that minimal 5% large hail risk there. So go ahead and highlight that. There we go. So we got that. And then now, so yeah, that's it for the, again, getting into the categorical outlook for today. And now we're going to dig into the setup for today. Okay, so we are going to start off, as I always like to, by looking at our CAPE in the mixed layers of the atmosphere. So this is our HRRR run from about 4 a.m. this morning here. Across parts of northeast Kansas, even down in the like Wichita, Pratt, Anthony, some of those places here. We do have decent instability even in the earlier hours of the morning for today. Of course, down in like southeast Kansas here, we have very minimal CAPE. I mean, I said cap, but we have very minimal CAPE down here in these parts, but kind of makes sense. I mean, it's earlier in the morning, everything. Anyway, as we continue going throughout the day, that CAPE slowly starts to build in here by about 9, 10 o'clock-ish. And we start to get those values up to about 2,000, 2,500, even kind of earlier on into the day. As we continue to go on, that CAPE really starts to kind of build up and kind of fill in here about, let's say, noon to 3 o'clock maybe. So, again, from probably anywhere even from like 10, 11 o'clock to like maybe like 10 o'clock in the evening or something like that, I would say is maybe an estimate of a window there. Because again, that CAPE really kind of fills in there for a little while until maybe it starts dropping off about 6, 7 o'clock here. And then it kind of goes away a little bit, or at least becomes kind of more modest in parts of our risk area here, at least our highest threat, by later on throughout the evening tonight. Okay, so now again, as usual, I go in my typical order here. We're going to take a look at our mixed layer convective inhibition, which just a little reminder because I really haven't, given it in a lot of my videos. But convective inhibition is basically that capping inversion in the atmosphere, and it basically measures how strong the cap is. And again, if you don't know, the cap is just a layer of warm air kind of in some of the middle, higher levels of the atmosphere. And what it does is, as a parcel of air actually begins to rise, we want that to get cooler as it goes higher into the atmosphere and eventually, then condense into a cloud. But with that warm layer of air, it causes that cold air parcel. It's like a cap or just like a block, and it causes that air parcel to fall back into a stable area of air. So, yeah, that's why we don't want, if we want storm development, we don't want high levels of convective inhibition. So anyway, yeah, same model run again, 4 a.m. this morning. We do have, obviously, that kind of convective inhibition throughout, really the whole state, really. So yeah, we do have that kind of moderate capping to start out the morning. As we continue going on throughout the morning hours, we still have a little bit of that capping inversion left there. And then as we approach about 9 a.m., 10 a.m., that starts clearing out, maybe in like eastern Kansas, north central Kansas here. I mean, these areas where there's really nothing on it or whatever. And then by about, say, noon, 1 o'clock, we really start to clear out and allow these areas in the threat area to probably destabilize thoroughly. And then, yeah, as we continue going throughout the day, we have a little bit of that window there. And about, I'd say, 6 o'clock, that that convective inhibition again starts building in the parts of southeast Kansas here. But our main risk area for today would still be untouched here. So let me get that off there. Anyway, so yeah, and then we continue. So this is about 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock, that convective inhibition really starts to build back into most of these risk areas, at least, again, on the Kansas side. I will say, though, again, that may not be a problem, though, with storms that do already get going. It all kind of just depends. But I do believe that once storms do get going, unless, obviously, if they start dying off, which, again, we'll have to see when we take a look at our reflectivity here in just a little bit. But, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to kind of switch it up a little bit here. We're going to start out by looking at our more wider range of bulk shear here. So, again, everything model-wise is the same. We start out early morning hours with a little bit of shear here in parts of Kansas here, especially up in, like, northwest Kansas here, but really that's not our main focus area for today. But anyway, yeah, we start out with some kind of modest shear, lower shear values here, and then as we continue again going out throughout the morning, we really don't start getting some of these somewhat minimal, even minimally decent shear values until about 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and then it kind of starts filling in here to most of Kansas, really. As we approach about, I'd say, 2, 3 o'clock here, we start to get those at least minimally appreciable values for supercellular development up here. So maybe about 30 to like maybe 40 in some areas, which once you get to about 40, 45, you start approaching at least, I'd say, like moderately appreciable shear values there. So yeah, we do have some of those appreciable values throughout parts of northeast Kansas, southeast, south central, even up in the parts of northwestern Kansas here. We have a lot of bulk shear up there. I mean, almost up to maybe 70, 75 knots in some places, which is very high amounts of bulk shear there. But anyway, as we continue to go throughout the day, we do have kind of a corridor here of maybe some higher shear as we continue going on throughout even into maybe the evening hours a little bit, early evening hours here. We were shear, so about 40 to maybe 50 knots in some places, which that is very much enough shear to get some of those supercell structures with today's storms. And then, so this is about 7 o'clock here. Again, we do still have those very, very, very decent shear values here. It's parts of Kansas over here. And as we continue going throughout the night, we still have some of that kind of residual bulk shear that are left still in the atmosphere. So, yeah, again, we'll have to see how this all plays out when we go look at our reflectivity just here in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of switch it up a little bit. I'm going to be looking at just this surface level, basically shear along with my kind of the very levels of the atmosphere bulk shear. So again, everything's same, kind of get the point at this point. Anyway, so as we continue going throughout the day, this is about 10 o'clock here. Again, shear is kind of modest here, at least at more closer to the surface levels. Only getting up to maybe about 30, 35 knots, maybe in some locations, maybe far northeastern Kansas there. So this is 10 o'clock today, noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So really, that shear doesn't actually get to be actually too high, at least more at that surface level there for really most of the day here. So we'll have to see kind of how that plays out. It starts to get maybe up there just a little bit, still modest at best probably, but it does start to kind of fill in a little bit, maybe around 7 o'clock or so tonight. And then we kind of do get that kind of deeper shear, maybe in some kind of isolated locations there. We do start to get some better shear readings. This would be about 11 o'clock, or no, 10 o'clock tonight. So, yeah. Okay, so I decided to use the NAM model a little bit because, for at least the reflectivity, because it, sorry about that. Anyway, I decided to use this model though because it kind of takes it out a little bit further at least, and we can kind of see a little bit more using this model. So again, this model is at 6Z, so this is midnight this morning. Again, as we continue going on kind of throughout the morning here and day, we do have some storms that are kind of pushing into that enhanced risk even earlier in the morning here, at least as of this model shows right here. So yeah, again, parts of northeast Kansas, kind of parts of our enhanced risk there. I do believe that there could be, if that were to play out, there could be a severe threat definitely with these. Personally, I don't know if it will be very high with these initial storms that develop here, but again, just stay aware if these do actually form and this scenario does play out like this. Because again, if it does, then again we could see some severe activity out of those storms. But as we continue going on, we do have some storms again firing off about 11 a.m. So Topeka do have a decent cell here. Again, these cells here definitely could have a little bit of that severe potential too. And then I'd say around, okay. And then around 20, let's see, let's go 20Z. So that is about 2 o'clock. Around 2 o'clock, we do have kind of a line firing off here in kind of northeast Kansas. And that could definitely pose probably that wind threat, maybe that hail threat in there as well. Again, tornado threat for today is not very high, so I really don't believe that we would be worrying about that as much as a large hail and damaging wind threat for today. That line continues to push off towards the southeast here, so like Kansas City, Olathe, Baldwin City, some of these places. Again, on the Kansas side, some of these places maybe getting a little bit of that Boeing echo structure here with that line that's kind of moving in here around that time. So again, that would be around 5 o'clock. No, it'd be 4 o'clock. Sorry about that. And then again, as we continue throughout the next couple hours, that line kind of pushes into the Missouri side there. And then we do even have a few more storms firing off across our slight risk area here. So like kind of out southwest of Wichita here, up Sedgwick, and up Emporia, Linden, some of those areas. And again, those storms could also definitely pose a severe, that large hail damaging wind threat as well that are in here. Now, so this is about 7 o'clock tonight. As we continue, those storms kind of maybe move out to the northeast a little bit here, and again, even throughout. So that would be about 10 o'clock here tonight. Those storms could very much still pose that severe threat here. And then I'd say after about well, that was about 9 o'clock, but after about 10, 11 o'clock, our threat starts to die down and it really comes to an end, at least in Kansas for today. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that is all I have for today's severe analysis here. Again, if you found this information useful to you, go give the rest of my content on my channel just a look at. Maybe like if you want to, subscribe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Again, hopefully you find it useful to you. Just stay weather aware, and yeah. For now, I'll see you in my next weather video. All right. See ya.